Don't you think?
You would hope that that's what they're headed towards, because just that experience was it just brought me back to, I have some say in what I choose. Whereas this felt like I don't have as much say.
But I was one of those guys who would rent something and then weeks would go by and I would still not have watched it. I think I had Blade Runner for like 3 weeks. And
everyone did.
That gets expensive.
Oh yeah, it would stack up, and you'd be embarrassed taking it back.
Yeah, and you'd say, give me a break. And sometimes they would bring it down a little bit.
Sometimes they give you some snow caps or something. I'm like, I need a fucking financial break here.
But do you remember, like, you're probably too young, but when videos first came along and it was a new technology, it was kind of like, before Blockbuster, everyone thought I could make money with this. So you would pop into the dry cleaners and then have a little a video section, or the 7-Eleven, or like the local candy shop, right? And they'd have a little like 15 video library. You know what I mean?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it was weird.
That's awesome.
And then there was a winnowing, and they're like, this is ridiculous. We need to have some place that just does that.
We had a place called Pat's Shrimp and Video, and you could get you a pound of shrimp and get you a movie over
in
there.
Covington.
Yeah. It was nice, dude. Get you a little bit of shrimp, get you a little film or something.
You know what you'll find over here is I think the chocolate's a little bit better.
100%.
And if you go in, no disrespect, and maybe they're one of your sponsors, but Hershey's chocolate, I'm not a big fan of. And
me neither, honestly, and I'll say that out loud.
Yeah. Come on, fuck those guys.
Well, it's just shit chocolate. What are you fucking making for people?
I think I actually think, and you can check this, they could not legally sell that as chocolate in the EU.
Wow.
Because they'd be like, there's not enough chocolate in the chocolate. Right? I'm serious.
Oh, 100%.
The cocoa content would be, they'd be like, this is Vegelate. We can call it Vegelate if you want to call it Hershey's Vegelate, but we can't call it chocolate.
Yeah.
Because it's very sweet, but it doesn't have the richness.
Yeah, like we can call it African-American butter if you want, And like, well, it doesn't need to be racialized. We just need it to be actual chocolate, You would think, though, also in America, that has had a lot of history with African-Americans, you think at least they would put the appropriate amount of African American in the chocolate, dude. That's the kind of shit that pisses me off. Hershey's lawsuit sparked British revolt for superior Cadbury chocolate. But I will say this, when you walk into some of the chocolatiers that are in Britain, it feels like you are.
Oh, yeah.
It feels regal, it feels royal, it feels real.
Imperial. And if you go to Belgium, forget about it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, it's like being in Tiffany's, like a jewelry store. It's so redolent of class and kind of gourmet values. And the things are exquisite. Like, they just make beautiful objects out of the chocolate.
Presentations,
The presentation is off the scale.
Yeah,
Have you tried Revels? Do you know what? Try some Revels while you're over here.
Is it good?
It's a mixture of different. I just like you don't know what you're going to get when you put your hand in, and then they used to have they have a raisin one, like a crunchy kind of honeycomb one. There'd be an orange one, a coffee one, and they used to have a peanut one.
Oh yeah.
And then they discontinued that because of the allergy issues.
Yeah, but those people, we don't need them on Earth, I think.
People would say, like, the joke was like, people with allergies would use it like it was Russian roulette.
Oh, I love that.
I had one. I don't know if it's easy or not. The thrill. I don't know if anyone actually would do that. But a little part, I'm not going to be the guy who's like, is health and safety gone mad? I mean, we don't want people to die from eating a chocolate, but a little part of me was like, well, so we can't have fucking peanut Revels anymore just because.
That's a huge part. I think at a certain point you have to go with the status quo.
I was in a movie theater once, and I had my I think I had pick and mix. You know what that is? Okay, you just select different sweets and candies. A bit of them, but you make your own bag.
Okay.
I was like, this is going to be I sat down to eat the sweets, and a woman in front of me says, sorry, just to say, my son has a peanut allergy, so if you wouldn't eat any of your sweets, I'd appreciate it.
What?
So of course I'm like, oh, of course, yeah, not a problem. I don't want someone to die because of me in the theater, but I was also thinking like, what? I can't eat my sweets?
Yeah, dude, that's in Who do they think you are, John Wilkes Booth or something? It's not your fucking responsibility to keep this kid alive. It's her responsibility.
Yeah, but what if I go and sit over there? Like, nope, no, that's not good enough. Okay,
dude. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
You know what I did, and we can cut this out.
No, we'll keep it in.
Well, I went to far away in the theater, and then I
ate them.
I ate them.
Yeah, and the part you eat them out of spite almost. Of course.
No, I ate them because I wanted to eat them.
Yeah, but some of you, with each one, you were like, "Oh, that little motherfucker couldn't handle these."
Keep them out.
Oh, yeah, you're just firing them over towards him.
Man.
Let me think about what else. Oh, do you think what's on your mind these days, Louis? Like, what's something you think
I've
about?
got a podcast on Spotify. I went the Rogan route. Are you on Spotify?
Yes.
Are you?
Well,
Do you
you're
have a
only
deal?
on Spotify. No, I don't. I don't have a deal.
But they can put you on there.
Yeah.
And they don't pay you.
Nope. Wow. I know you're making it sound like a horrible situation. But we just put it on there just to be everywhere.
Yeah, you're not a Spotify pod. I'm a Spotify podcast.
Oh, nice.
The Louis Theroux podcast. So I've been doing that. And then I've got new shows coming up. I've got stuff that's on. I mean, my big thing is I diversified, so I started making more stuff behind the scenes. So I've got a series. Do you remember the Challenger explosion?
Yeah, a lot of people said those people are still alive recently.
Where are they?
Huh?
Where would they be?
Bring some of that up. People have been saying that. Can you say Challenger, people still alive?
We did a whole...
Do you have it? Is this what yours is about?
It's not about... According to us, they're dead. According to our research. Did I say Challenger? I meant Columbia.
Okay, Columbia. Sorry.
I fucked up. Columbia's the one that it was in 2001.
Oh yeah, those people are dead. The Challenger people, I think, are alive though.
Challenger is the one that exploded on takeoff. Columbia exploded on re-entry.
No.
Yeah, and not only that, they had, I wouldn't say they knew, but they had an inkling that something might go wrong, and they decided not to tell the astronauts.
No.
And so the question at the heart of it is, what could they have done differently? Could they have sent another rocket up and taken the people out in a spacewalk and bring them back home, in the other rocket, like send up a Russian rocket?
Right.
Could they have fixed it, done a spacewalk and fixed the bit that they thought might be damaged? So there's a lot of questions around how it could have been handled. I wasn't an exec on it, but my company made that. We're very proud of that series.
Wow.
And then we've got one about Lockerbie. And we do a lot of heavy stuff. Do you know what Lockerbie is?
Lockerbie, that's not the Loch Ness Monster, is it?
No, but it is in Scotland. It was a village and a plane. It was a Pan Am plane that was flying from London to New York, I believe, and had a lot of American and British people on it, including a whole bunch of students from Syracuse University, I believe. And it was bombed, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories around that, or theories as to what happened. So we made a 4-part documentary. That one's going to be on CNN. So anyway, I've been making a ton of different, and do you do any behind the scenes stuff? Like, do you have people you're mentoring, or do you have like a production?
No, right now we've just been doing this sort of thing.
Yeah.
I would like to, sometimes I think about doing some different, like, I've had just some thoughts, about stuff. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes maybe about like Alzheimer's, learning about that maybe. I
made a documentary about that.
You
That's
did?
an interesting, it was called Extreme Love, Dementia, and about the ways, it's about how we can best look after people with dementia. Yeah. A lot of them are very happy. Like, not to sound weird about it.
I think it's fine if they think they're young or a child or whatever. I don't know, but it's just about making them okay and comfortable.
Yeah, you just got to let them be them. I mean, that sounds a bit glib, but if they say one of them was a doctor. No, he was a dentist, and he was in this memory support facility in Phoenix, Arizona, surrounded by nurses and other very old people and fairly old people, and he'd been a military dentist, and he was like, I'm on this base, I'm a dentist, I'm doing something dental, I know that. I'm like, really? You mustn't contradict them, because that creates distress.
Oh, confusion.
So you're like, okay, and then you change the subject. So he thought he was still working as a dentist, fixing people's teeth. And if he was distressed, you would say to him, "Hey, Gary, would you mind taking a look at my teeth?" And then he'd do a dental inspection, and then he'd forget what was bothering him. So look, in this bit we can see he's trying to get out. He's like, "I want to leave. I want to go through this door," but it says push, and the alarm will sound, and he's getting agitated. And then I'm like, "Hey, Gary,
Indian or something.
Here we go.
You're always going to be an Indian.
would you take a quick look at my teeth?
Yes, sir, I would.
They're not very clean, though."
Well, I know. You're a Brit, aren't you?
Yeah,
Well, you guys don't clean your teeth like we do.
I know.
Lie down, please. You got good occlusion.
And now he's fine.
No, you're in crossbite back there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't do anything about it because it's not going to hurt you now.
Oh, he might be. Yeah, it sounds like somebody that's checking in on animals too. Like he could be breeding dogs or whatever. Some of the commentary he gave there.
But the point being, he's
Right.
he's happy and he's living in his own world. He's in a fictional reality of his own memories.
Yeah.
And it's kind of amazing.
I wanted to do something called like Children of the Porn, right? It was like children that were conceived on pornography sets during the shootings.
Right. I think that's not many, though. Do you think?
I think you got to get at least 7 or 8 of them. You only need a decent batch,
Hard
you know?
to prove as well, because there's so, if you're a working porn performer, you're going to be doing at least 3 or 4 scenes a week, maybe more.
Maybe not during a strike season. Maybe if you went and looked during a strike.
During
possibly.
a scare, when there's like someone tests positive and they shut down.
So there were only a couple of shoots that year, that month. And if I don't know, just something that I thought
Have you got
about,
an
you know?
OnlyFans?
No, I don't. I don't have it, and I'm glad I don't. What else did I think about? Oh, morning sex. Maybe a documentary about that. How did we get here? You know?
Like sex because you're bereaved and you're in mourning?
No, morning sex. No, you're talking about like funeral, post-funeral sex or whatever.
I can't get out of my grief.
Yeah, like
Or more, but you mean sex in the morning?
In the morning,
What's
yeah.
the angle?
I just think I don't care what it is. It's just probably just. I think fucking somebody right after they woke up is pretty sick. I think
Sick as in good?
No.
Oh, because sick means good now.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it went back. Now it's
Did it?
bad again. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm coasting out of all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty old.
Well, I think it just part of you loses interest in some of that as well.
Yeah, I'm on
Your
the other
penis.
side of the hill.
Yeah. Well, your penis, you've done all the tricks you can do with it.
I'm just trying to stay alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm retreating. You know what I like? Gradually, everything it's about, we just need to focus on getting to the next day.
Yeah. Do you feel accomplished?
Yeah. You're not supposed to say yes, but I do. I do because
That's a really cool thing to say. I think it's important.
I don't think there's people who've done way more, obviously, stuff than me, but because I've been so lucky with the career that I've had, and I think maybe because of when I came along, it was like there was various things happening in TV and documentaries, and it was kind of like there was an opening. Like there was no one who'd done kind of like, just wasn't that guy. Like he's kind of a little bit cerebral, but he likes to joke around and he's curious about this and he's a good listener and and then the BBC gave me they just keep making those programs and they didn't really even check up on me. Wow. And suddenly 15 years went by and I'd made 50 programs and I'd covered everything. I mean, there's still stuff out there, but there's so much I've cut. I've done a prison, I've done jails, I've done a maximum security mental hospital for pedophiles. I've done most of the high crime areas, let's say most of, but I've done Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Johannesburg, Lagos. I've covered so much. I feel like I've had this huge privilege, this gift, and it's pretty cool. I don't want that to sound weird.
I don't think it does. No,
Okay.
no. Well, it's just a lot of times, especially I think in the U.S., we don't feel. You never hear someone talk about, okay, I feel accomplished.
But
it's always just like this never-ending thing that is.
But I'm trying to make myself okay with slowing down as well. Obviously, by one metric, no. I'm not. I grew up in a household where we valued Shakespeare. Me again. welcome back. And so for me, I accomplished. My dad's a writer.
Yeah.
He's a travel writer. He lives in Hawaii and also Cape Cod in the summer. And he's written like 60 or 70 novels and travel books. Like, he's off the charts accomplished. So, and you know, and the people we looked up to when I was growing up, people like, you know, just great literary figures like James Joyce or F. Scott Fitzgerald. John Irving. He would have been too close in age to my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad would have probably, I never read John Irving, but if it was, let's say, Hemingway or Faulkner, right? Mentioning a Southern writer. Do you know who Charles Portis is? He wrote True Grit.
Oh, wow.
And he was from, I believe, Little Rock, Arkansas. He's a Southerner, and he's dead now. Brilliant writer. Everything he wrote is a kind of classic of a kind. So he was just someone who my dad was like, you should read Charles Portis. Like, True Grit's well known, but his other books are equally good, if not better. So I read 3 of his books. But my point is just, and I totally recommend them. One is called Norwood. Another one is called The Dog of the South. And by that metric, no, I'm not accomplished, because I'm not a gifted writer. I'm just a TV presenter. I'm not even really a documentary maker, really. Like, I'm not a director. I'm the guy who works with a director, and we say, hey, I'd love to go to a prison, and then the team says, we'll make that happen for you. And they go and, you know, they figure out how we get in, and then we get amazing acting for 2-3 weeks, right? Or in a cult, or in the world of adult film, or the far right, some far right group.
But you're the right amount of curious, though.
But I'm curious, and in a sense, by being a little bit scattershot, a little bit not ready for prime time, a little bit unfocused, maybe a tiny bit, I don't know what, maybe ADHD, I'm not sure what it is. I don't want to medicalize it, but whatever that is, I get impatient, I get twitchy, and then so the people who are focused and on it can get me in there, and by dint of their work, I've been part of making these programs.
It's cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to row back from saying I'm accomplished. I already regret.
No, I don't feel. I feel like it's you very lightly said.
I feel very lucky. Yeah.
You very lightly said. Well, most people view you as extremely accomplished. So I just think it's interesting to hear your thoughts on that. The pedophilia, man. What'd you learn about it? Because now sometimes people are saying that it's, you know, the next big business or whatever.
In what way? Like,
it's like the next Apple computer or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously.
It's just grow. I mean, I feel like it's like in America, there's that NAMBLA group. There's people trying to like legalize it. They're saying that the Romans used to do it.
Yeah, Romans did it. Greeks, I think, famously. It was Greeks, wasn't it? And they said that was normal in those days. And then there was NAMBLA. I remember seeing a documentary. When I was coming up, I used to live in New York, and there was a place called Kim's Video talking about Blockbuster. Kim's was like, it was way beyond Blockbuster. They had everything, and they had every kind of film, and they were organized by director. There'd be Kurosawa, Spielberg, I don't know, Jean Renoir, some obscure stuff you wouldn't see anywhere else. You know, go into Blockbuster and say, "Where's your Kurosawa section?" They'd be like, you know,
yeah.
Oh, sorry,
we'll give you some snowcats.
But Kim's had everything, and in the 90s when I was coming up, I was working as a print journalist, and you'd go down to Kim's, and it was like an education in film. And they had a documentary section that had incredible, like one film they had that I want to mention, you may even have seen it, was called Dream Deceivers. Have you heard about it? And it was about 2 kids who listened to a lot of, is it Black Sabbath? No, Judas Priest. Yeah. And they had a song called Suicide Solution. And the 2 kids decide, like, they think the lyrics are saying, suicide solution, just do it. And so they're like, yeah, we need to commit suicide. I know, it's very heavy. And they kill themselves.
No.
Yeah, and then one of them doesn't manage to do it. He just shoots off the lower half of his face. So he's interviewed in the documentary.
I gotta see that.
But he can't really speak properly. And then Judas Priest are prosecuted by the kid's parents, I think, saying like, it's your fault. it's because of the lyrics, and then Rob Halford from Judas Priest is on the witness stand explaining, like, it's not, we just made a song. He's from Birmingham, isn't he? So we just made a song and it wasn't supposed to tell anyone to. I can't. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's very fair.
And and I remember seeing that and thinking, this is so fucked up. This is exactly the kind of thing I'm really curious about, and it's dark and it's all upsetting. And there's the kid. He's died since then.
Oh man, I gotta learn about that. We just had a group on called the Suicide Boys, and they had a pact when they were young that if they didn't make it, that they were gonna commit suicide.
Make it as what?
As white rappers. So I mean, it was a fucking. Let's just say the deck was stacked against them. Okay?
But there's some pretty good. I feel like down
sure.
south is it Bubba Sparks?
Bubba Sparks, he was on one time. Bubba Sparks is a really neat guy.
Is he still going?
He had some pill addiction. He still does do some work though. He still does work some.
Really?
But there's a lot of white rappers out of the UK now.
Oh yeah, I would say white and black, very talented. In fact, the UK drill scene.
Central C?
Central C, did you have him on?
Central C,
He's
no.
big.
I thought about reaching out to him, but
Do it.
we had Ed Sheeran and KSI and you, and I felt like it was a good.
That's a great mix.
I feel like
I feel very flattered to be in that company.
I feel very flattered to be in the company. So,
But on the Kims, because you were talking about pedophiles being the next big thing in tech, which I didn't fully understand. But you're
I don't know if I said that exactly.
You said it was like the next Apple product.
Oh yeah, I was just saying it's become this hot thing in America. That it's like. It just seems like they try to make it seem more norm. Well,
so the thing was, I was going to say, there's this documentary that in Kim's in the documentary section, and it was about NAMBLA. It's called Chicken Hawk. All I was going to say on that was, so back in the day, NAMBLA was big. Allen Ginsberg, the poet, I'm not trying to throw shade on him or whatever.
No.
Brilliant beat poet, much beloved, but he was a member of NAMBLA.